Welcome back, everyone. We have 6 days left until ILW officially kicks off, but we already have some sale items hitting the store. Let's go check them out. So on the first day of the pre-Invictus launch week sales, we have the Prospector, but it's a little bit different than the last time around, mainly because the Hornet prices have gone up. So remember last time we had the Hornet tracker over here, which was $140 or something, I think. Crap, now I don't remember. But it was the first one that was available, and I think I have one of those war bonds. In fact, let me double check this real quick. Upgrades. Hornet Tracker to Prospector, right there. Hornet Tracker to Prospector. Right now, if you bought this, it would be a standard upgrade. In fact, let me show you. Prospector. Do the standard, and it would be $5. Oops, reverse that. So here, you can still do that. It's only $5. So I bought a war bond for $5, but it saved me $10 at the time or something, right? So price went up on all the trackers. So keep that in mind when building out your change, because this does happen. Thankfully, it's not a loss, but it was a way to get me to inject new money, and it's not really that great of a discount, right? So anywho, with the Warbond Prospector CCU, we've got the Hornet Ghost as the top option here. Well, it's not the top option. It's the first one in the list. They're all 140 right down below this mark, down to the Freelancer Dur. I would not recommend the Dur. So let's go back up and walk these through, okay? So the Hornet Ghost, there's only 2 Hornets that ever actually get Warbond CCUs. That's the Heartseeker and the Super Hornet, okay? The F7A obviously has never had a Warbond CCU. The Mark IIs are too new to have had a Warbond CCU, but it might happen this week. If they're going to have it, this week would be a great week to have it. We'll see. This week we've got a week until Invictus actually launches, so we've got at least 2 weeks of sales to look forward to, which is pretty cool. Okay, back to it. The Mark IIs could happen in the next 2 weeks, but they haven't happened yet. The base Hornet Mark I never had a Warbond CCU. Obviously the base Hornet Mark II has never had one. The Wildfire has never had one that I recall. They may have had one a really long time ago, but in recent memory, and I don't actually have one in my hangar, so I don't think they exist. The Heartseeker definitely has one. Happens about every Valentine's Day. The Super Hornet seems to be random, but they do exist. I think they had one in 2022 last time. IAE maybe. The Hornet Tracker's never had one, and the Ghost has never had one. So, having said that, now that the price has increased on these, and follow this logic, they will probably have Warbond CCUs for at least the Hornets that have increased in price, because I don't know if the base model has increased. The base Hornet Mark I, I think that's been 125 for a while. I don't know that that's changed. But my guess is that those Hornets that have increased in price will eventually have a Warbond CCU that'll bring it down back to the original price, which is kind of cheap in my opinion. Cheap not in a discount, cheap as in underhanded. Or maybe $5 below that, which, okay, it's still a discount, so I'll take it. But I don't like it when this sort of thing happens. Anywho, walking down the chain here, the whole B, it makes an okay choice if you got a discount on the whole B previously. If you had bought the whole B outright, maybe at a pre-sale or at a concept, or if there may have been an option to buy a concept CCU at some point, but I don't think that happened with the whole B, but at least it's possible. It could have happened. I just didn't pay attention. Then that would make a good choice. But otherwise, I mean, the whole B, I don't think has had a Warbond CCU yet. So that would be off the list. The Ballista is probably the best choice. We've had the Ballista available. I remember I have 2 of them from way back when it launched. And I think this year they had one already back in March, and they had some last year as well. So it seems to be at least relatively often that the Ballista has now hit. There's at least 3 that I know of, probably 5 that I can think about for sure. So this is probably the best option. Again, even if you've just started playing at the beginning of this year or something, or since IAE of last year, you at least would have had a chance. If you missed it, well, damn, that sucks. Going down the price list, the Freelancer Dur, bad choice, because the only freelancers that have actually gone on Warbond CCU, the Freelancer Max had one a while ago. I think IAE of 2022. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's right unless somebody corrects me. And then the Freelancer has only ever had one, and that was this year, very recently. I'm sorry, last year, very recently. Almost 1 year ago today is what I'm trying to say. That was a bad way of saying that. Back in June or July or something of last year. Yeah, we're almost halfway through the year, guys. It's insane. This year is flying past. Anyway, then we have, the Cutlass Red. I mean, it's had at least a couple Warbond CCUs. Tough call on that one. Again, you're leaving money on the table, right? It's $10 for 15 worth of savings, or 10. It's 10 for 10. Yeah, 10 for 10 on this one. That's not bad. I'd take it. If I already had a Cutlass Red, I would skip all these others, probably. But I have a Ballista, so I wouldn't do that. But again, like if you bought in just today or something, or if you're going to start your adventure in the Warbond CCU realm today or something, Cutlass Red is still a decent choice, but Ballista would save you more money, and it's probably just as likely. I think if you add them all up, the Ballistas probably have more Warbond CCUs than the Cutlass Red. Again, what's the thing that they always say? Not giving financial advice, right? But not giving a statement of future proof, but future possibilities. The Cutlass Red is less likely based on statistics, not based on what they decide they're going to do in the future. So anyway, so to be clear on that, since I mumbled in, kind of did a roundabout discussion there, the Ballista is still probably the best option right now. Anything less than that, you're leaving money on the table, and or they just haven't had many Warbond CCUs. Again, the Hornet Mark 1, it's never had one. These are all 125s. I don't know if the Raft has had one. C1 Spirits definitely had one. So if you're going down to the 125 price range, it's more likely that you have one for the C1 already in your stable, or that one seems really likely. For whatever reason, they put this thing on Warbond sale. It feels like almost every sale. It feels like it's not actual, but anyway. So that's what we have. There's no other Warbond CCUs that I saw. Let me zip through it real quick here. Zippy, zip, really quick. That's just the Prospector. Yeah, nothing else. All right, so there's no other Warbond sales, but this new bike is pretty interesting. I'm going to go into that next. So in the standalone ship category of the store, there are a couple interesting things to check out. First off, you've got a decent discount on the new Pulse from Mirai. This is a very, very compact speeder bike, for lack of a better term. This thing looks pretty cool. I actually bought one, but I bought the ILW version, right? ILW's Invictus launch week. It's only a $5 savings, unless they're going to bump up the price on both of them later. But there's a very small difference, right? For those people that are going to play the game long term and are not just looking at, playing until it launches for whatever reason, because that could take another 5 years. Let's see here. Let's do both of these. So these are the standard version that actually have a gun on the front. The Pulse LX is the race version. It gets rid of the gun and it's got more boost or something. Anyway, this is the Warbond version. It has LTI. So this is a very cheap LTI starter ship that may make sense for a lot of you. However, the ILW, which you can buy with in-store credit for $5 more, has 10 years worth of insurance. This is still a hell of a starter for an entire Warbond CCU chain. I actually picked one of these up because I want to try it out today as soon as this thing stops patching. Oh my gosh, I should have let it run overnight. 2.5 megs download per second is just gut-wrenching. Anyway, Going back to the extras on the standalones, the only other warbond in the standalone ship category is F7C Hornet Mark II. It's a $160 ship on a warbond price with LTI. Again, it's a sale item, so I'm showing it, but I don't recommend buying ships outright. Look, with 323, guys, everything is literally getting thrown out the window. It's almost like we're back in, I don't even know, 312 maybe, where the entire flight characteristic was different. Fighting is going to be very different, especially in ships. Obviously, we're progressing the game and it's getting better in many different ways, but this is a huge adjustment. Whether we hate it or love it, again, I haven't gotten into play and I'm not part of Evocati or anything, and I couldn't get into test PTU, either of the test instances for whatever reason this round. So the reality is, who knows, maybe it'll be an excellent ship. I think there's some other videos out there on YouTube that show the amazing capabilities of interceptors, and obviously the main interceptor with the most firepower is the Buccaneer, which I happen to have. So I'm just going to go with that for now. So sure, as things get ironed out and they realize that Master Modes completely screws over anyone who has a slow ship that doesn't want to be involved in combat, and the cries of pain are heard so loudly that they must change things. I'm just not sure that it's the best ship, and spending $160 for any single item is just not the way that we roll here on the CCU game, so I'm not going to recommend it. So as for your friends joining the verse during this week anyway, they have not updated the starter packs to the ILW 10-year insurance rate. So these are all standard packs. There's sort of a discount on this one, but it's not Warbond. I would recommend, if you've got a friend that really wants to jump in, I would have them wait, because these are not deals yet, and we love the deals here. So yeah, I'm saying give it another week. At least we'll get a 10-year, maybe we'll get a Warbond. Jumping over to the other packs section, this is a section of the store where they sell multiple ships packaged together and give a slight discount from time to time. We've got two that are Warbond capable. We've got the Pulse and Pulse LX. So this one includes both existing versions of the Pulse with LTI, and a self-land hangar. Okay, that's weird. Usually they don't have those in a pack because it's not a starter pack, but okay, cool. I guess it has to come with that, otherwise you may not have a hangar because you wouldn't have a package, but then you couldn't play the game anyway, so sure. Throw that in there. Pretend like that's a value add. Okay, so it's a slight discount, right? So if you bought these outright for a Warbond each, if you really want both of them, it's still a $2 discount. That's what it boils down to, right? Because each of these Warbond is $25, standard is $30. So if you're looking at it Warbond to Warbond, you're saving $2 additional if you want to buy both of these. The other one here is the Freelancer Miss, along with the Pulse combat version, I guess. It's not the race version, which is odd. I mean, it's cool to give lifetime insurance and they give a slight discount here because $175 is the outright price you can buy a Freelancer Miss for. So it's basically you're getting a $25 Warbond speeder bike for free. So I mean, that's a $25 discount technically. That's way better. But again, it's a $175 price point. So the discount is good, but it's still $175. And here's the other interesting thing. This is the only time ever that the Freelancer Miss has had any type of a Warbond sale put on it. So again, I don't know how they come up with these things. I'm glad they're getting a discount, and I hope somebody finds this one useful, but this is definitely not for me. It is not enough savings, even though it is a pretty decent chunk. Here's the rationale that I use. Spend $175 to save $25. That math doesn't math for me, right? Spend $25 to save $25. I'd do that. Anyway, if you want the Freelancer Miss and you want it now, and you want and you want to capitalize on the only sale it's ever had, well, you can get a free pulse if you want to just buy it outright, I suppose, but this is not something I would recommend. As with just about every Invictus launch week, we have a plethora of paints. The only ones I haven't seen in here are the very, very rare Dragonfly paints, the yellow and the pink Hello Kitty one, and the Lovestruck paints. Just about everything else is available that I've seen. Paints definitely aren't my thing, but I get lots of people love buying them, and this is another way to support the game, of course. That's where all of our money goes, to support the game. So if paints are your thing, definitely check them out, because most likely the paint you want is available. Well, that's it for today's Warbond coverage, folks. I hope this video was informational and hope it helps you out. I hope this patching process speeds up, because it's 7 a.m. and I still can't play, for crying out loud. All right, hope to see you guys in the verse, and hey, get your wallets out, because ILW is coming and there are savings to be had. That's it for me, folks. Zi-Tek out.